Hello, and welcome to the Missionary Podcast. I'm your host, Elder Swagger Brad, and right now I'm currently inside of a giant refrigerator, trying to see if the light bulb really does turn off exactly when you close the door. How much of a delay is there? Or is it really just turn off because there's a little gremlin that runs over and flicks the light switch whenever you close the door? I don't know, but I'm about to find out after I record this episode of the Missionary Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to bringing you weekly missionary news. Now, the first most prominent thing that I feel really strongly needs to be shared with the world is a culinary experience that I had this week. You see, many of you guys, I'm sure, have heard of dollar stores, but have you heard of dollar restaurants? That's right. It's a restaurant where everything that you can buy on the menu costs $1. Do you want to buy some ramen? That's $1. Do you want to buy a can of fruit? That's $1. Do you want to buy a can of tomato sauce? That's $1. Don't know why you do that, but you could buy that at the $1 restaurant. Also, other things that you can buy there is a slice of tomato, a slice of lettuce, and 2 slices of bread, each for the price of $1, which allowed you to make a very cheap sandwich at only $3. Of course, if you want meat, you're going to have to pay $1, but that still is a good sandwich before you get to the meat. You do also have to put in all of the work of combining those ingredients completely yourself, but they do give you basically a sandwich, and everything only costs $1, so that's a good deal. And as I was listening and seeing this wonderful culinary experience that's being offered to the world, I was so impressed that I wanted to invite the proprietor of the $1 restaurant to come onto the podcast and share his recipe for success. Terrance Simms has been running his restaurant for a really long time, and I think there's a lot that all of us can learn from him. Take it away, Terrance.
Hi, my name's Terrance Simms, and let me tell you, I've been in the dollar restaurant business for 28 and a half years, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the thing people care most about is a commitment to quality, and that's what I provide with my dollar restaurant, a commitment to quality. You want quality ramen for $1? I gotcha. You want quality bananas? That's $1, and I gotcha. The biggest thing I want all my customers to know when they leave my restaurant is Terrance Simms has got them. Let me just say, you don't get voted the 28th year in a row best $1 restaurant by just being a normal everyday Joe. It takes dedication, it takes work, and it takes being willing to sell things for literally $1. I don't even make money half the time, but you know what? It's worth it for the customers. If there's one thing that every customer has said when he comes into my store, it's, wow, I can't believe everything literally is $1. And the second most common thing they say is, wow, that's such a ripoff. This is not that good of food. But you know what? People more often say the first thing than they say the second thing, and they generally say the first thing first. So as far as I'm concerned, it still is a good restaurant practice, and I will continue to do it. You hear that, Mom? I'm going to follow my dreams and do what I want to, because I want to run a $1 restaurant. And you know what? It can be done. Speaking of such, I'd like to take this opportunity with a public audience to inform the general public that the $1 restaurant will be making a slight branding change. Due to the forces of inflation, we will be slightly adjusting our prices, and we will now be known as the $1.25 restaurant. Mainly, it's because $1.25 is just more convenient for people, and we care most about the customers and about delivering quality goods for them. And the amount of quality that we can get out of an extra quarter, insane. You wouldn't believe it. You thought your ramen was good before? Now look at your ramen. When we put in a quarter's worth of dried onions, it's gonna be good, probably. Anything's possible in the $1.25 restaurant. Come here on 28th and Main. You'll really enjoy it. It's a good restaurant, I promise.
Thank you so much, Terrance Simms. I will definitely be coming to the newly branded $1.25 restaurant. It honestly was the highlight of my week last week, mostly because I spent the entire rest of the week staring in a blank box, watching paint literally dry. You see, it turns out that the paint drying process on the boxes that we put onto solar panels is actually a really delicate thing, and it's essential that absolutely nothing interferes with it. So I had to watch it for 4 days straight to make sure that no one interrupted it. It would have been catastrophic, and we probably would have lost all power to the entire country if I had not done that. So I'm glad that I chose to do that, of my entire free will and volition. Nobody even paid me for it. You're welcome, fellow citizens. Speaking of volunteer work in the community, I obviously am not a part of the volunteer fire department, but I know people who are on the volunteer fire department. And some of my friends in the volunteer fire department informed me of a rather unusual fire that they just recently put out. You see, the fire was started in one of the brick and mortar stores of Pablo's music publication service. It turns out that one of the beats that was dropped was literally so fire that the disc actually caught on fire, and the entire store went up in flames. Unfortunately, the firemen were not able to get there before all of the music was destroyed. However, fortunately, all of it is backed up in the cloud. And the cloud, obviously, is a giant mass of little robotic bugs that fly around and pick up and store data through a pollen spreading technique that is only known to Pablo and his top executives. Honestly, I don't really know how it works. All I know is that if you see a little electronic bug that's flying into your home and taking some of the nectar and pollen from a flower that you have on your windowsill, do not be alarmed. It's simply one of Pablo's friendly cloud-based technology drones coming to record data and store it away in a place that no one will ever find it. So you're completely safe. Don't worry. This episode of the Missionary Podcast has been written by Barnetta, the Black Pen. Thank you, Barnetta. This episode of the Missionary Podcast has been sponsored by Spiderwebs. Are you tired of not having beautiful spider webs adorning the corners and ceilings of your home, but not wanting to go through all the work and hassle of introducing flies into your home ecosystem, enticing spiders to come in and build them for you? Well, we have the answer for you. Portable spider webs that you can buy and put up anywhere. Spider web sizes range from as small as a quarter all the way up to industrial spider webs. Obviously, all pricing will vary depending on region and quality of material you'd like your spiderweb to be built out of. For more details, please contact the Big Spider, also known as Aragog. He lives in the very bottom of that creepy, dark basement corner you're still too afraid to go down and investigate. But he'll be happy to sell you a beautiful spiderweb. Today's quote is, how do you spell the letter 8? 6. If you add powdered milk to milk, then you get more milk per milk. Wow.